Hey, everything I do, learn young plus tax, got no wing.
Welcome to the Plus Tax Podcast, everybody. This is season 2, episode 1. I'm really excited about this. So this is the Plus Tax Podcast where business, entrepreneurship, real world leadership come together. This is very important season. We're going to be bringing in a lot more information to our entrepreneurs, to our business people, our community, how they can help themselves succeed in the future. And I'm your host, Ricardo Alvarez. And today we're kicking off season 2, a very important conversation we're going to be having with our special guest, Antonio Martinez. He is a community advocate and he is a candidate running for San Diego City Council District 8 of San Diego. And today we're going to be discussing about business, leadership, city decisions, and how local government directly impacts entrepreneurs, working families, and the future of our communities. So we're going to show you how to locate and contact your city council member, or what a constituent is, what exactly is the process, and how this is important to you. So if you own your own business and you pay taxes and you work hard every day and you worry about the future of where this is going and you need some help, this is the episode. This is exactly what you're going to be needing. So without any further ado, let's get into it.
Yeah,
All right, everybody.
title pros.
This is season 2.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about it. We got this new track.
Everything I do, learn young plus tax, got no
Yeah,
wing.
look at that. Feel that a little bit?
If you want to win,
We got Antonio here, Antonio Martinez. What do you think about the song, Antonio?
So far, it started out great, Rick. This is awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So let's hear a little bit. Let's hear a little bit.
Check
this out, Antonio. Antonio, we're going to release the song as our new track.
For CEOs, innovators, both artists, entrepreneurs, go getters all day. Learn every move.
Little hip-hop.
I carve my own way. B-side living, but I never fear sharks. Stay strategic.
B-side living, and I never fear sharks.
Seems like it's really explaining the American dream to you, Rick.
All right. Yeah.
Opportunity to succeed, the opportunity to do well and help the community. It's fantastic. I love it.
Yes. Yes. So I'm going to put it out there so they can hear the full track.
I love it.
But basically, I wanted to let people know how close we are to the border.
Yep.
How different life is living by the border, being Hispanic, being Latinos.
Yep.
We all come in different shades, right?
We do. Yeah.
But it's really of being both sides. Like you're curating your memories and your heritage. Like we're jumping right into it. I apologize, folks, but we're talking about the song and it's a new one, so it's just we'll get into that later. But it's a good track. It has a little bit of everything. And no, that's not me rapping. So we got Antonio Martinez. Oh, thank you. So we got Antonio Martinez. This is the first episode of season 2 of Plus Tax Podcast, and it's sponsored by TaxNeta. It's a tax resolution system, and please check them out on taxneta.com. So Antonio, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you. Thank you. What an honor.
Thank
I
you.
just want to say thank you for the opportunity. It really means a lot, especially the fact that it's your new season. I'm the first episode of your new season. Just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, it's an
It means
honor.
a lot to me.
It's an honor to be here. So we definitely wanted Antonio. He's running for city council
For the city of San Diego.
for the city of San Diego.
Yep.
City Council, District 8. District 8, folks. And we're going to get a little bit of information and knowledge. What exactly a city council, what the hell the city councils do, So we're going to see, we're going to hear a little bit about city council, what they do and how it helps the community and what they do for the community and the business owners.
Absolutely.
And a new word that we're going to bring it up. And Aaron, good morning, Aaron. Aaron's with us today.
Good morning, Rick.
So the word of the day, Aaron, is constituents.
Right. We were talking about that this morning.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to,
And a lot of people don't know what it means. So that's good. So we'll define that.
I don't know how to spell it. How about that, man? So I don't even know what it means, but I do. But I chat GPT'd it. I'm not gonna lie. So I had to. So yeah. So we're gonna find out some great information, some knowledge, and also some talking points on Antonio of what exactly he's bringing to the table.
Got it.
As his running talking points. Is that?
I love it.
Am I being that correct there?
That's correct.
All right.
Absolutely.
So Antonio, tell me a little bit about yourself. What where you're from. What makes your parents proud of you? What is it that you're doing that your parents are so proud of you? Let us know.
Well, I can tell you, first of all, again, thank you, Rick, for having me here today. I'm a lifelong resident of District 8, particularly San Isidro. And we're going to get into this a little bit later, but District 8 is the most southern district in the city of San Diego. It's literally divided into two parts. And the part that I grew up in was the southern portion, which is right by the border, San Isidro. I actually was raised, not just with my parents, but with my grandma as well. She's like my mom.
Yeah.
And, one thing I can tell you is I was the first in my family to go to college. I attended the University of Pennsylvania.
That's important.
Very important.
Yeah.
Very important. Just because, not just the step of graduating, but the fact that I made a promise, and I made a promise to her that a lot of kids in my neighborhood don't have the chance to go to that school or go to a school like that. But I wanted to commit to coming back to the neighborhood, my San Isidro neighborhood, and making it better. And I did that.
Correct.
I worked for, and I think this is where we met, for 11 years, I worked for the Imperial Beach Nestor Clinic.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's where we did some work together. I think that's where we met. And
Yep.
then
I think it was in Barrio Logan. You did some type of event as well.
we've been doing events all throughout the community. And then for the last 6 years, 6.5 years, I worked for a congressional office. So I got that experience as well. And now I'm running for city council to keep my promise that I made to my grandma, which is to come back to the community and make it better, to use the skills I learned in my education to help those in need. So I'm very proud of that. So
Awesome.
If anything, to answer your question, I think my family's proud that I'm committed to making a difference for the better and helping people in need.
Right on. I mean, and as you all know, you don't have to be a politician or running to make things better, right?
That's right.
But it's important to know the governmental, even from the city level, to your community level, to city level, from your home, from your home to the city, I mean, it's a big map, right?
It is a
lot of people.
Yep.
So it breaks down, right? It breaks down. So that's where the word constituents come from.
Yes.
And I'm going to try to break it down, and you tell me if my homework is correct.
I'm pretty sure you're going to get it right.
All right, let's see. Let's figure it out.
I have faith in you.
Okay, so the way I see it is, let's say the city is the high school.
Okay.
And the city council is the peer council.
Well, the city council would be the one who governs what happens in the high school.
Correct.
So it's the governing committee.
So the governing committee
if you want to look at it from a perspective of a high school.
Yeah. It's just a level of layers, right? That has to go to. So how do people get to communicate with issues in their area? Like, just say I live on Palm Avenue.
Yep.
For example, I have my office in Palm Avenue.
Yes.
Which that's where we're at. We're in the tax center office here in Palm Avenue, and we're fully invested in Palm Avenue. So I'll let you know that. Yeah.
I love it.
We're here. We're not going anywhere. So
Good.
We're really investing in our community. But if I need to talk to somebody, which is a city council, about the traffic ordinance, or the parking, there's people parking, or they're selling their cars and they're not even from the area, but they're using Palm Avenue to sell vehicles.
Yes.
And they're being there for longer than 2 years, and there's no police. There's no police, and this is real.
Yeah.
There's no police controlling Palm Avenue.
Yeah.
It's like you go to downtown, you can't even park 30 minutes and get a ticket.
Yep.
You're in Palm Avenue, you can be 2 weeks with no rims.
Yeah.
It's literally like a battle zone here.
Yep.
And if it wasn't for myself, for my family that also owns property on Palm Avenue, businesses, we don't just opened up a shop. We actually bought properties to invest our future here on Palm Avenue. So we're fully involved. We're fully in.
Yes.
Okay. We're not just, saying we're doing this. No, we're really in. And I believe strongly in our community, in our area, but they don't come by. If we don't call, if our neighbors don't call, if we don't get together and say, hey, let's call, we got a card from the police department and they said, call us whenever, but we have to call them, but there's nobody really patrolling.
Yeah.
How can we change that? How can we have more control about that situation?
That's where the term constituent comes in, and it's very important because every position that's an elected position, from as small as a water board to as big as a U.S. senator or a congressional representative, each one has an actual district, an area where individuals live in and reside, have businesses in. Those are essentially constituents of that elected person. So it could be as small as a school district. So, for example, I'm a board member in San Isidro School District.
Correct.
There's a geographic area that's designated so that the kids that live in that area can go to my schools, can go to the schools that we offer. And those individuals, again, are our constituents, the ones who reside, the ones who have businesses, the ones who are in that area. Same thing at the city council level.
Correct.
So city council, the city of San Diego is divided into 9 districts. What we're running for is District 8. And essentially, you would be a constituent of District 8 when we win this election, Rick.
And anybody could be a constituent.
Well, then that's really, it really depends on the politician. And I've heard crazy stories where some of them say, well, you only have to live there, or you only have to reside there. Or some of them even go so say you have to be, someone who has been there certain years. And for me, I have to tell you, if you're residing and you're in the area, and this is for a lot of families, for example, that are transitionally homeless. We have a lot of families, Rick, that are living in their car, that are living in a cheap motel, that are living with their tia and their grandma in a garage. For me, those would be my constituents if they're in District 8. And to answer your question, your representative, in this case at the city level, but there's many different types of representatives. We have state representative, we have federal representative, can represent you in terms of resolving your problems. So in this case, if you had a problem with traffic or the potholes on our streets or the broken sidewalks, you would contact me and the team that I would bring in when we went for city council. And you would say, Antonio, this is the problem. Can you resolve it? And we would do an inquiry and look into it. And more importantly, have that communication with you. For me, the key thing, Rick, is communication, because
Right.
I think a lot of people don't know who to communicate to. And I think that's the biggest challenge when it comes to, and the frustration when it comes to any type of government, which is we're all paying taxes, but who do we reach out to when you actually have a problem? And I'm running, and this is part of my platform. I lived in District 8 my entire life, and I can guarantee you, District 8, and in comparison to all other districts, we have been shortchanged and neglected by the city of San Diego.
Right.
And that's my motivation to run, because we deserve better, if not the same, better. And when I say better, I'm not asking for more resources, but what I'm asking for is an opportunity for our families and the people who reside in the district to get our fair share.
Okay. And what can the people in the community, whoever is in office currently or in the future, what other steps, how they can start, how do they reach out to their city council? And is it first step city council, or is it somebody else? Is it always a first step, or maybe?
I would say that is always an option as a first step. And what I mean by that, you can reach out to an agency that could help you resolve the problem, and perhaps it will. But the bottom line is your elected representative should always be an option, whether it's first, last, or middle. And for me, that's the bottom line. And that's so important in being a good elected official, a good representative.
Right. So we're going to put up Aaron has put up a District 8, San Diego, right?
San Diego, City of San Diego.
City of San Diego, District 8 location. So that way our audience can see what area is District 8, if it pertains to you. So it looks like It's from Imperial Beach, is it?
No, so Imperial Beach, it's its own city.
Right.
So Imperial
So
Beach
13th Street.
So yeah, well, it's kind of weird because it kind of like jiggles around. But the truth is, that's relatively the border, 13th, and then everything south. So it's everything east of Imperial Beach and south of Chula Vista. That's the
Right.
southern portion,
Okay.
and then the northern portion is essentially the northwestern part of National City, but not the city of National City. So it's north of National City, northeast of National. No, excuse me, northwest of National City. So that would be Shelltown, South Crest, all the way up to Sherman Heights.
Got it. Shelltown.
Yeah, yeah.
Shelltown.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. So I also see a little bit of up there. Is that,
That's the northern part of the district.
and so it jumps over, right?
And you know what's interesting? District 8 is the only district in the city of San Diego that's essentially two geographic parts.
Okay. Because I know a lot of action is always happening in Barrio Logan area.
Well, I can tell you, I believe
We need some help over here.
I'm going to tell you, all of District 8 has been shortchanged, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest issue we have in the southern portion, in Palm Avenue, Coronado Avenue, San Isidro Boulevard, if you look at the main thoroughfares,
Right.
a lot of people don't even know that we're part of the city of San Diego. In fact, I can tell you for a fact, I live in San Isidro. The way we do our postage is we write San Isidro, California,
92173.
and really it's supposed to be San Diego because we're part of the city of San Diego.
Correct.
Now, if you have that, a lot of people don't even know who to reach out to because of that. They don't even know we're part of the city of San Diego.
It's, and I'm hoping that there's a couple of things that I want people to come out of this is who represents your city.
Mhm.
And right now we're talking about District 8,
Mhm.
and we're talking about the running position for
Mhm.
District 8,
Mhm.
which we have Antonio Martinez here. And we also want to show that it also has a northern district.
Northern part of the district, yeah.
Yeah. So if you can see on the map, and we'll show that right there. So it shows, San Isidro all the way along, it skims along the border, right? And these constituents, apart from calling up and say, hey, fix my pothole, or hey, they're not allowing me to put a sign up, or
Mhm.
all the I'm not gonna say not complaints, but things that they want to be addressed. Okay,
Mhm,
because some people don't want to call it as a complaint. They want to say that I need a problem solved because it's becoming a burden. And one of my first steps is I've never contacted city council before.
Okay.
I've always contacted either if it's like parking issues, I would call the police department.
Mhm, mhm.
And then if it's vagrants, I would say the party goers of Palm Avenue,
Mhm, mhm.
and I'm not talking about homeless. I know there's a homeless and there's drug abuse, right? Because I can give a class on that, right? Because being on Palm Avenue, I get to know everybody that needs help, and they're very very shortly.
Mm.
They're 2-3 days because they use the resources that are out there. People that are homeless,
Mhm.
they're looking for spots, right?
Mhm.
And then the people that are in drugs, and the ones in drugs is the ones that we say, okay, they're doing personal hygiene stuff, in public. So those are the ones we call, right?
Mhm.
We try to help them out at first, but apart from that, can constituents also reach out, business owners say, we want to educate, can you help us we want to gather something together because we want to educate the public or our community about financial literacy, about art, about things that are not just complaints, but something positive that can bring to their community, to their town, say to San Isidro or to here on Palm Avenue, and just specifically in that area. And then they're trying to get some kind of permission or something, or assistant or any guidance.
Mhm.
Can they also reach out to you?
Yeah, no, and one of the things I want to do once we win is, and I mentioned before, Rick, that I worked at the Imperial Beach Nestor Clinic for about 11 years. Well,
Okay.
when I was there, and actually it's so funny, Supervisor Paloma Aguirre, who was recently elected,
Yeah, she was formerly mayor of Imperial
formerly
Beach.
mayor and council member. She was excellent. She's one of my friends and my allies. Well, fun fact, a long time ago, she and I created the Imperial Beach Community Collaborative. And the concept is very simple. It's you gather all the important stakeholders in the community,
Okay.
business community, the nonprofits, the faith-based organizations, government, local government, state government, federal government, and you meet once a month and you sit round robin. You have you sit at a table, and
Right.
the whole purpose of that meeting is to share resources.
Right.
And what we found out, and back then I was working at the health clinic, so my goal is to get people access to affordable health care. But what
Oh,
I found
so
out,
expensive.
what I found out, Rick, is this. There's so many great resources that are available and cool things that you can do, like literacy, financial literacy classes, for example, like you mentioned
Yeah.
that a lot of people don't even know that these programs exist, or that you can have work together to create some type of program like that to help people in need. And what we found out is by working together, we're more efficient and we're getting things done. And that way, when people come to when I was working at the clinic, people would come and they'd say, Antonio, I need to see a doctor. So, okay, let's sign them up for Medi-Cal. They're eligible for Medi-Cal. Boom, easy, check mark. But then they go, Antonio, I'm also hungry. My kids are hungry. Well, and I go, okay,
Yeah.
well, there's a food distribution that I know of offered by this particular faith-based organization that's offering free fruit distribution, giving out food, clothing. This is when they're having it. So when they would leave my office, they would have not just access to affordable healthcare, but other resources. So to answer your question, Rick, one of my goals once we win is to create collaboratives in both, one in the south side of District 8, one in the north part of District 8. And that's going to be essentially the way we can all work together. And again, going back to your goal of having classes of financial literacy, promoting your program and your business, and making sure we're all working together, that's the way we're going to do it. So
Right.
I want you to be part of that collaborative once we win.
Oh.
And we will win.
And thank you for the invite. I've lived my life for 30 plus years on Palm Avenue as an accountant, and we call our office the letter readers of our community.
I love it.
And I'm going to tell you, like I said, we're right by the border. So
Yep.
we're invested in our heritage and our language of Mexico, the Spanish, language, and, we're Mexicanos. So the people that are getting cards or letters are in English, right?
Mhm.
And they bring it to our office and they say at RFA Financial Centers in our
Mhm,
office
mhm.
and Palm Avenue, they bring it to our office and say, hey, we got a letter and can you help us? I don't know what it says. We literally do that letter reading and we explain to them what they have to do. There's no cost. They come to us. We've been doing that for 30 plus years. So we officially are the letter readers of our community, and we have never stopped and we're never going to stop until as long as I'm here. But that's why we're doing the podcast.
Can I just add, Rick?
Yeah.
You mentioned that, and for me, it touches my heart because you don't know how important it is, that task for a lot of people.
Right.
When you look at some, like I take like my grandma, for example, I'm obviously her letter reader when she has anything to, sometimes even like scams, for example, she doesn't even understand it. So for me, the task that you're doing, obviously you're doing it for free, is so important, and you're really making a difference, because for some of those individuals, especially if they're seniors, we want to make sure they get the best possible outcome, whatever they're trying to do. In this case, we have to be careful also with scammers, because there's a lot of people who use that vulnerability and people not understanding to take advantage of others, which is horrible.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I'm not a nonprofit,
Okay.
but we do have a heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we know when somebody needs help and they're not just coming in and just using us, but it's really people that have no alternative, and they come to us because they know that Senor Ricardo has been there forever.
That's right. And they trust you.
And they trust me, and they come and they know that I'm going to be there, and they know that we are a family. Like the way I was saying is, my home family has invested on Palm Avenue with their own professions as attorney services, accounting services, tax resolution services. So my whole family has invested, and I'm not just saying rented. I'm saying we purchased. We kind of Nipsey Hussle this thing. You know what I mean? We purchased properties. We've invested in our properties. We've made the property better looking than when it was before. We want our community looking sharp, looking clean. We care about it. So I want that any politician coming in, I want that energy in our area because Palm Avenue is forgotten.
Yep.
Caltrans is in charge of our streets.
Yep.
And how in the hell do I get a hold of Caltrans?
Yeah. Well, that's where the constituent part comes in.
No.
Well, here's the thing. That's what I want to do, the collaborative, Rick, because the reality, we're going to invite Caltrans to also be part of our collaborative.
And it's not their fault. That's just what they got.
But here's the thing. I think that's where people get frustrated because there's so much bureaucracy. They don't know who to talk to. You know, I worked for a congressional office, Rick, for 6 years. And I can tell you this. When people would come in and ask for help,
right,
and it would fall outside of the purview of a federal agency. So for example, when I worked for the federal office, we would help with IRS issues, Social Security, military, immigration. But let's pretend they had an issue with the Health and Human Services Agency with their Medi-Cal, and that's a county issue, and Medi-Cal is a state issue. What we would do is not just say, oh, this is not our issue, leave, or like find out in your own way. We would actually give them a contact info and make that phone call for that agency outside of the federal office. So we would connect the dots. And that's a big difference. So for your example, so if you were to call me, in God's favor, when we win for city council and say, Antonio, I have an issue with Caltrans. This is what I would say. You know what, Rick? Even though Caltrans is not a city issue, right? It's a state agency. We want to connect the dots with you because that's what matters. It's not like just dejándote así, like saying, oh, it's not my problem. And many of them do that, Rick.
It's not even an issue. It's just not understanding the process of chain of command.
Yeah.
So I learned it on the first building that we bought, how that works. Yep. And it was kind of I was like, wow, there's a lot of layers here.
Yeah.
Why can't we just do this?
Yeah.
It's a resolve. Like I found a easier way to do it, and I mentioned it to the Caltrans representative that I was dealing with, and he was like, "Oh, you're preaching to the choir, yes, we agree with you. Actually, everybody has mentioned that, but this is what we have to work with, and just bear with us." And they're great, but it's just the layers. Like if I'm pretty savvy with going and orchestrating through all that and maneuvering through all that stuff.
Yes.
And that's what I do for a living, right?
Yes.
Going through all the bureaucratic red tape, and it's called the hurry up and wait, process. It's governmental, right?
It is.
So being an accountant, so I understand, but we push through that. So now it's so scary already for anybody to open up a business. So now, yet alone, how can we teach? I'm going to say it again, the Nipsey Hussle kind of, theory of invest. If you really believe in your community, why don't you invest in your community? Why don't you try to purchase the building? Everybody's gonna say, "Oh, yeah, Rick, how can you buy it?" It's doable. I'm literally a guy that went to Mar Vista Middle, went to Oneonta,
I love it.
Elementary. Actually went to Berry School. I went to a lot of little schools, but Travieso,
I love it. I love it.
But I went to Mar Vista, went to Southwest High School. And I went for a brief time to Mar Vista. Okay. I'm going to stop there. Okay.
Okay. Well,
but the thing is, what I've been here, and you go up Thermal Avenue. My house that I grew up in is right up on Thermal, right by the farms.
Yep.
We saw every family coming from south of Mexico pass through our streets, pass through our sidewalks. I know what it is to grow up and see this, and how can I think that I'm going to be able to be where I'm at now if I had to learn all this stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I literally, folks, I learned how to be where I'm at now. It wasn't given to me, but you have to break that uncomfortable feeling of learning and risking it what you have. If you don't risk it, if you don't have Antonio here, it's not easier, right? You got to be in front of people. You got to be
not easy
of the opposing team. And I want to say opposing team, whoever it is. You have to shine and show your glow of why you're doing it. Right. Yep. And that's the layer. So now imagine a person trying to open up a business, yet alone buying the property.
Yep.
How scary that is. And going through all these if the financial literacy is not there, I don't see how people could do it.
Yep.
It becomes very, very difficult for a normal. It's like less than a 1%,
Yeah.
less than a 1% of being in your community is able to do the stuff that you see people doing.
Yes.
That's why there's outside professionals that do this for a living, purchase that building, and they don't even live in the area. They're probably in Burbank, California, or Florida, or Texas, and they're rich and they're just buying up shitty properties and they're just renting them out, and that's it.
Yep.
They're investing.
Yep.
And here you are, you start this business, and it all of a sudden flourishes, right?
Yep.
And then here comes the owner and says, "Oh, you're doing good. I want to double your rent." That doubling your rent, the owner is now being limited. Now it cripples their growth.
And I can tell you this, Rick. You're the example of how we change communities for the better. And I'll give you an example. I think about District 8, and I think about our commercial thoroughfares. And the one that I often think about the most is San Isidro Boulevard, which, if you look at it, it's the world's busiest border crossing, the San Isidro
World's.
And I want to emphasize that, worlds. Wouldn't you think that that's something that would be also world renowned? Someplace where people all throughout the world, not just the country, the world, would want to come and visit. But if you go to San Isidro Boulevard right now,
Jesus,
this is the question: why would someone want to invest in that neighborhood if it looks ugly and it's something where people just use it to transition to someone else, or they go there to exchange their money to go to Mexico and vice versa? So this, and I blame the city of San Diego, and I'll tell you why. Because if you look at the way the streets look, why would someone want to invest in a broken down where the city's just pothole ridden? I mean, the reality is we need to complement, the city of San Diego needs to complement with infrastructural repairs, recurring maintenance, and ensure that those streets and those sidewalks, those neighborhoods look clean, so that it inspires investors to say, you know what, I'm from, like you, I'm from Sidro, I'm from the local community. I want to invest in the neighborhood and I want to make this world. And then we complement each other, right?
Yeah.
That's really the goal, Rick, because that's how you make change. But I just want to applaud you because I think you are the example of what we need in order to change for the better.
I appreciate that, and I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it because, I don't do it to get a pat on the back, honestly, guys, but it feels good hearing it because I'm going to tell you, it's not like I had to do it to survive, bro. Yeah. Like I'm not even kidding. Like I had to do it. In my mind is I have to survive. I can't fail. I don't know who to ask. I mean, if I don't succeed, and I got a family, I'm putting them all through college. Yep. They all went through college. They're all professionals now. They're doing something.
Congratulations. That's
Thank you. And use the YMCA to grow them up and did community. I was a coach, for Pee Wee sports in the YMCA in South Bay, with Devon and everybody that was there running that program. I'm still on the board for the YMCA right now.
I love it.
Yeah. For Borderview.
Right here in Borderview, right?
Borderview, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So this episode is sponsored by TaxNeta, taxneta.com. It's your tax resolution solution center. If you have questions or have an audit or letters that you've been receiving from the state or federal level, TaxNeta can help you. Please go on taxneta.com and get all the information you need. They're your solution center for any tax issues that are arising. Again, this is the Plus Tax Podcast, sponsored by TaxNeta. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody, from our quick little break. Thank you, TaxNeta, for that information. We're here with Antonio Martinez, and we left off on talking about the busiest border in the world, which is San Isidro border crossing, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So you made a good point, is if this is the busiest border in the world, and it should be renowned, right? It should be
world renowned.
It should be just amazing. People want to go take a look at it, take a picture of it. Mm-hmm. But yet when you're going to cross, it feels like you're doing something criminal.
Well, it feels like a ghost town.
Yeah, well, it feels like you're being sent somewhere bad. Mm-hmm. But yet the whole world wants a vacation in Mexico. And I'm going to tell you, have you ever been to the Canadian border crossing?
I actually have not. I wish
Okay.
that's going to be my bucket list then.
Well, I did it. I drove
Okay.
from Seattle and I crossed Canada through
Ooh,
Seattle.
Okay.
Right. I drove all the way up, and there is literally, I was waiting in line, and I'm going to post some videos, photos, see if I can, but I'll post them up here if I'm able to. We're literally crossing the border, and it's beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful. And there's a wedding, because when you're crossing the border, you see there's like the ocean or lake, like a bay area.
Okay. Okay.
And it's amazing. Like the grass, everything is just beautiful. There's literally a wedding happening while we were crossing on the border.
Incredible.
And people were saying, like, people can say, like, what do you mean there's a wedding? Yes, it's so beautiful. There's literally a venue while you're in the border. There's a venue and there's a wedding going on because of the bay scenery.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. And I'm like, why can't this, you exactly pinpointed, like, why can't San Isidro be like this? I mean, we go to Mexico,
Yeah.
people pay tons of money to fly to Mexico.
Yep.
And experience the Mexican Riviera, right?
Yep.
Mexico is beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Why? It's not Mexico doing that.
Yeah.
It's, what is it,
So that's what I mentioned, Rick. I think that's going back to, and again, I applaud you for being the example of what we want in somebody investing in the neighborhood. But going back to that, like, how does somebody want to invest in San Isidro Boulevard, for example?
Yeah.
When you have pothole-ridden streets, broken sidewalks, trash everywhere. And I think the idea is the city needs to do its part in making sure it has maintenance and recurring maintenance, cleanups, making sure we bring resources to beautify the neighborhood. And then from there, work with investors and hopefully people in the community that are from locally, from Cedro, for example, that want to invest.
I'm going to tell you right now, that's, you know what, if seems impossible for, let's go to a strip mall. And now I'm going into my kind of world, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go to a strip mall, there's 5 locations. Why don't 5 of those business owners do a group investment and put their money together and buy that strip mall? And each one keeps their suite.
Yep.
And depending on the allocation of the size of the suite, that's their investment amount. And that's very simple to do.
And I'm going to use an example because I think this is a perfect example. 3rd Avenue in Chula Vista.
Oh,
15 years ago. Now, I remember 3rd Avenue in Chula Vista when I used to go there. And you remember we had the Vogue Theater.
Yeah, yes.
I remember that when I was a kid.
Of course.
But 15 years ago.
Good memories.
Excellent memories. If you look at that 15 years ago, that block in that area in 3rd Avenue in Chula Vista, it was a ghost town, similar to how it is in San Isidro.
Correct.
Boulevard. So if you look at it now, we have to talk to our neighbors in Chula Vista and say, what did they do to inspire that economic growth and ensure that, like, an area like that, that's the place to be now?
Absolutely. I mean, even people that invested there, I know, correct me, I know there's a certain person that was in, I don't remember what position she was in, but a lot of people purchased from Chula Vista that live in Chula Vista or from the area, and they purchased multiple locations. That's a perfect example, because if you're from the community and you're going to do a business, are you doing it for 3 years? Or are you doing it for, I'm doing this till I heel over on my desk. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, and I love doing what I do. I just love it. Right. And I'm assuming that when people open up a business, they want to do it for a long time, because they doing it because they love to do what you're not chasing a dollar. I mean, the dollar is always being chased, right? Yeah. But you're doing something that you're working, doesn't feel like it's work, but right now we're working. I'm having fun, and this is part of work. This is part of explaining what we do, what I do, what you do,
Yep.
what my guests do, what taxes are about,
Yep.
giving some information, how to be a constituent. What is a constituent? How does constituents help in business or in the community? How does city council help
Yep.
in with the constituents to help the community in the city, in the environment that they're in? So how does all that work? And that's where we're working, right? But if you don't feel like it's work, and you're making a living off that, providing for your family, why would you think you're only doing it for 3 years?
Absolutely.
Why wouldn't you think long term?
Yep.
Te va a costar dinero
Yep.
a fuerzas. Like,
Yep.
it doesn't matter. It's going to cost you guys money. But if you really think about it, there's always a way to approach that goal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And go back to it, Rick. There is no one that's going to do a better job in improving the neighborhood if you actually also live in the neighborhood. And frankly, like I said, you're the example of that. Absolutely.
Yep. I have a really nice little tent right here, right next to my house. No, I mean, and I say that because it's people that we're talking about, the homeless, that people are looking for that job, or what is it that they're not accomplishing, or even if they're renting right now, how can they accomplish home ownership?
Yep.
How can they invest where they love to live at? Don't just rent because it's cheap.
Mhm.
Don't think like that no more. Rent where you want to be at, right?
Mhm.
Rent where you want to be at, rent where you want to work at, or that way, like if some people are getting paid very well in Del Mar or getting paid very well in downtown San Diego and you live in the South Bay,
Yep.
you got to do that commute. Why can't you live in downtown San Diego?
Yep. Yep.
Why can't you? You're working. Why do you have to? Well, because rent's cheaper
Yeah.
in San Isidro,
Yep.
right by the border. Like literally, you can touch the wall of the the famous wall. But why is it cheaper? Why? I don't get it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I don't get it, but we don't know why.
Well, and that's my motivation to run, Rick, to make sure that we get our fair share,
Great.
that we have our cleanups, we have our resources, that we get the community, make it better, and we help those in need.
Great. Just to end this off, we're kind of getting close to.
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about this for 2 hours, but it's not the Joe Rogan show here, okay? But so if you're a small business and you're worrying about taxes, permits, rents, development, enforcement, and everyday entrepreneurship, being a constituent, being a concerned member of your environment, of your where you work at, where you started your business at, talk to your city council. Find out. We just found out District 8. Is there a website that they can find out more
Yeah.
information about District 8 and you and all that?
Well, for District 8, it's through the city website, right?
Okay.
They would tell you more about the city resources. But for my campaign, obviously this is going to be a process because we have to win the primary, which is, for those of you who don't know, it's
Perfect.
June 2nd. Don't forget to vote. And hopefully you vote for me if you live in District 8, Antonio Martinez. But once we get past that primary, Rick, we go to the November election.
Perfect.
And then that's when that winner is decided as the council member for District 8.
Yeah.
What I can tell you is this, Rick. My team and I have been canvassing and knocking on doors. And we've done thousands of doors, knocked on them.
Yeah.
And one thing I try to tell everyone, and I'm giving out my personal cell number to the community because obviously I want that communication piece. I want to rebuild the trust with the community and making sure they know that it's not just me knocking on their door, asking for their vote, and then never seeing me again. I want to make sure that they know that there's a way to contact us. I want to make sure they know that when we win, we're going to be proactive. And that's why I said I consider you a great community partner,
you.
Rick,
Thank
and
you.
I'm hoping to work with you. And God's favor, when we win, let's do great things.
Open door policy, my man.
Open door policy.
Yes.
That's a promise.
Yes. And again, Antonio Martinez is not living in Del Mar,
No.
in La Jolla, and running here. You're part of us, right?
Yeah. San Isidro, live there by La Mirada Elementary School in Avenida La Cruz.
Right on. And again, this was great information on what a constituent is, how a city council member helps you, works with your business, works in the community, can answer questions. It's kind of a guidance, and I'm sure whoever is in office now like I said, we're a very bipartisan podcast here. We want to talk more about the business side of it.
Yes.
Reach out to your city council,
Yes.
place your votes, and really, really get out there and vote, because it does make a difference. It does change. It does affect your wallet more than you think. It's all about business and your community and how to change things for the better.
That's right.
And if you have great ideas, it's not always about complaints. Bring the good ideas, because everybody, wants those good ideas to implement them if they're good, and if you're about it and want to, volunteer and stuff like that, right? So, folks, there was a lot to talk about. We wanted to see the real groundwork of what a city council does. It's out there right now. Everybody's campaigning right now, and we had the opportunity to have Antonio Martinez here. It was a great conversation we had. So look him up. How can they find you on your website?
They can look at my website. It's www.antoniomartinezst.com. And then we have a Facebook, an Instagram, and a TikTok. Although I'm getting used to the TikTok.
You're doing some dancing on
I'm
TikTok.
not like the younger crowd, right? So
right.
I'm getting used to. I know what it. So social media, you can look us up. Hope you can follow us on those on our channels there. Yeah.
Well, yep. Thank you, man. I'm your guy, Ricardo Alvarez. I'm your accountant, and we're bringing inside information for entrepreneurs, businessmen, business people in our South Bay community. And if you have any information or questions that you have regarding this particular podcast, please send me an email. I'll have the captions below. And again, I am Ricardo Alvarez with the Plus Tax Podcast. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and I'll see you on episode 2. Thank you. Enjoy the music. No.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So, Aaron, it was crazy how you're trying to do, podcasts, and they think it's easy. Everything comes with it. It comes with things falling. I try to go as much as I can, but being a business, sorry about that. Your guest is there, and crazy stuff, right, Aaron?
Yeah, the bloopers. Oh my God, this episode's gonna be crazy. We had both arms drop at different times in different clips.
Well, it's passion. We're both talking about what we love. We love our community, our place, and things are falling, and we don't care. We're still focused, man. But had to get to a point where we had to take care of the actual technical difficulties. But check this out. This is what happened.
Hey, things happen, especially in this kind of job.
Absolutely. So I want to let everybody know that no matter what things that happen in business, nothing's perfect. Things are always going to happen, but you just got to adapt and start rolling with it. Use what you have to use, put your message across, stand for what you're doing, and it's going to come out. I mean, no matter what, things happen. So check it out.
We also have the power of editing and post-production.
That
I know.
always
Helps.
But in real life, there's no editing. Right. In real life, shit has to keep on going. Mm-hmm. We don't have an opportunity to edit. It's like, oh, do over. I'm sorry. Let me. No, you can't. It's too late. But check out this episode. It's really cool. We have our new track that just came out. It's a new track that talks about our podcast, Plus Tax Podcast. And it does never pauses. Taxes never end. It's part of life. So enjoy the new season, Plus Tax Podcast.
Plus